Hey, you remember that Paul Rudd movie with the guy with the mask that kills a bunch of people and Paul Rudd's playing this damaged, weird man-child with an obsession for rocks and stars? If you thought that sounded like a crazy movie idea you'd have while on LSD with your buddies in the middle of the woods on a summer night, you might be right, but it's also Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and continuing my Halloween Revisited series, tonight we are talking about Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 6, Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers. It goes by many names. But tonight we're talking about the theatrical version. I have not decided if I'm going to do a producer's cut version. I would like you guys to let me know down in the comments. If you want to see me do a revisited for the producer's cut, let me know and I will do it. But tonight we're covering the 1995 theatrically released version of the film. So Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers picks up 6 years after the end of Halloween 5. Jamie got busted out of this, she got taken from the prison that Michael Myers got busted out of at the end of Halloween 5. And we find that she has been forced against her will to live in some underground bunker system, whatever the hell, where the Cult of Thorn keeps Michael and keeps her. She's given birth to a baby that has a purpose for Michael, and she escapes with the baby. Michael kills her, but the baby is gone. And the movie follows the story of Paul Rudd playing Tommy Doyle. Yes, Paul freaking Rudd. Marion Hagen as Kara Strode. Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance's final on-screen performance. May he rest in peace. And Mitch Ryan, the man in black. And there is this whole plot of Tommy keeping the baby away from Michael and the cult and trying to keep the baby safe, while Kara and her family live in the Myers house. Halloween has been banned in Haddonfield because, bad voodoo. We don't do that. Kara becomes acquaintances with Tommy Doyle, who happens to be her neighbor. Their stories intertwine. Kara and her family live in the Myers house. Michael and the cult find Tommy and the baby. Havoc ensues. People die. And that is Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. So, first off, I want to say about Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. The atmosphere in this movie is top freaking notch, okay? I just cannot believe some of the beautiful shots in this movie, whether it's the lighting, the color grading, the saturation, the fall atmosphere is in full effect, and it comes across the screen. It's like its own character, in my opinion. It is absolutely breathtaking. So, arguably the best atmosphere of any of the Halloween movies. You've got the elephant in the room, though, of Danielle Harris being replaced by J.C. Brandy. Now, I want to say something about this casting choice. I understand the story of what happened. I obviously understand that Dimension did not want to pay, Miramax did not want to pay Danielle for more than just a scale paycheck because she was a bit character that died in the first act, according to them. So they recast her with J.C. Brandy. J.C. Brandy gets a lot of hate just because she's not Danielle. But I will say, I don't think she's bad at all. I think she does exactly what she's asked to do. But for me to believe that's a 15-year-old girl, no. I understand the complaints with it. I do. I agree. I wish it were Danielle. I wish she wouldn't have died in the first place. So maybe it's good that it wasn't Danielle. She deserved a better end than that. But yeah, I really don't think JC did bad here. And this is probably some of the weakest stuff in Halloween 6, though. It opens very weirdly, although you get a great, fantastic, beautiful kill of one of the nurses by Michael Myers, and I just love that kill. You get this really, rock music-y, of the Halloween theme, and it's actually it's an interesting take on it. Definitely very 90s. You go back and watch this movie, and you're like, the 90s. So it's very a part of its time. It's a product of its time. But I just feel like the beginning here is a little, I don't know, if it doesn't really seem like the stakes are that high. You don't really know exactly what's going on. You're kind of waiting for these answers. You do get a voiceover with Paul Rudd at the end of this opening, talking about, Michael Myers and whatnot. Or no, it's not it's like in the middle of it. And that's cool, I guess. But you're really not understanding what some of this imagery is. It's kind of a follow-up from some of the ideas in Halloween 5 where you're just kind of like, what is this symbol? Who are these people? What is their purpose? So, again, the opening, it kind of opens weak. However, I like when you get the shots of Tommy and Kara. Kara and Tommy are both listening to the radio program. Barry Sims. It's Back Talk with Barry Sims. And they're talking about how he's going to come to Haddonfield on Halloween night because Halloween has been banned in Haddonfield. And, kooks are calling in, talking about Michael Myers. Tommy Doyle's being a creep and just creeping on Kara across the street because, I don't even know how you would explain that away. Like, hey, I wanted to make sure, what? You wanted to make sure what? That's just weird, man. So, yeah, I do like this part with Barry in the background and everything and Jamie in the bus station. It starts to pick up. And then, obviously, Jamie dies in a very unceremonious way, but it gives you the feeling of Michael Myers that you're going to get throughout this movie. And that is a brutal Michael Myers. Michael holds nothing back in this movie. This is one of the better portrayals of Michael Myers. Coming back to play Michael Myers from Halloween 4 is George P. Wilbur, and he lost, what appears at least, the shoulder pads that made him look like, I don't know, some 14-year-old kid trying out for the football team in Halloween 4. So I definitely like the look, and the mask is probably the best mask we've had since the original Halloween. I'll just go ahead and say that. I know the same mask was used in 2, but it doesn't look the same. So I'm just going to say that. You're introduced to Kara. She's a Strode. Her dad, John Strode, I think he's like Laurie's dad was his brother, I believe. They live in the Myers house. There's a very contentious relationship going on in that household. Kara came back home after college. She's living with her son, who John Strode reminds us all is a bastard. Kara's mom is she's very sympathetic toward her Deborah, played by Kim Darby, and she's great in the role, by the way. And you get the vibe in the first scene that John Strode's just a prick, man. He doesn't like anyone. He's an ass to all of them. So, quite frankly, I just feel like we're introduced to this family, and you're immediately going, can't wait to see John Strode die. And we will get there. But yeah, basically the setup is Tommy finds the baby in the bus stop bathroom, and he decides, I'm going to take care of the baby. They heard Jamie call into the radio station the night before, so Tommy knows something's going on. Cut to Dr. Loomis seeking out Dr. Wynn at Smith's Grove. Or no, it's the other way around. Wynn seeking out Dr. Loomis to try to get him to come back to Smith's Grove. Dr. Loomis is like, yo, I've retired. I'm not about it. But when they hear Jamie on the radio, all paths converge to Haddonfield. Dr. Loomis is looking for Michael. He expects him to be out on the prowl. Tommy is looking for the baby and then trying to keep the baby safe. He's also trying to keep Kara and her son safe and tell them to get out of the house. So that's really the crux of the plot. Michael comes back to Haddonfield. Michael starts mowing people down because he wants the baby. Doesn't really care that Kara's in his house, honestly. Really doesn't. Now, you got Kara's son, Danny, that's having these visions and hearing things about kill for him. And, it looks like the man in black in the corner talking to Danny. And it's almost like, whoa, is this what happened to Michael Myers? What made him go bad? Oh, Danny's living in the Myers house. Is the same thing going to happen? Not really. They do play it up a little bit, and it's played up a little bit more so in the producer's cut. But it doesn't ever really come to a head. It's just like a neat little idea, Easter egg, whatever you want to call it. Well, it ends up that where Tommy is staying, Mrs. Blankenship, who has a boarding house, she's a member of the cult. She's like, hey, sup, I know you have the baby. We find out the man in black is Dr. Wynn. He takes the baby and Kara, and then Tommy and Dr. Loomis are drugged. They go to Smith's Grove because they know that's where Wynn's going to be. A bunch of shit goes down. Tons of people get hacked up. And Michael Myers is defeated by a pipe to the face and bleeds green blood. Upon revisiting the movie, where do I sit with this one? I will give you guys a quick backstory on my history with this movie. This was the last Halloween movie I ever saw leading up to Rob Zombie's movies. You know, of the first 8, this was the last one I had seen. And I caught it on AMC in October one year. And I remember watching it and going, what the hell is this? Now, obviously, everybody knows with this movie, it is a compromised vision because of the producer's cut being the cut that a lot of the people wanted. And then, you know, Miramax wanting another cut. So we get the theatrical cut. There's a lot missing there. There's a lot of plot holes and things left hanging. So obviously, once you see the producer's cut, you can kind of see where they were going. I'm not saying it makes it better, but you understand more. So it was kind of a mess. And I remember watching it and just being like, well, I've now seen them all, and that was the worst one I've seen. And that was basically my opinions on it, honestly, when I was an early teen. As time went on, not much time actually, just a few years, by my late teens, I loved this movie. I loved this movie. And upon revisiting this movie, I absolutely adore this film. There is so much that is weird about this movie, yes, but it's kind of endearing. In a weird way, it kind of is. Halloween 6 was written by Daniel Farrens, who is obviously, we all know now, a diehard fan of this series. He approached Mustafa and said, I want to do this. Let me write a script. I want to do this. I want to do this. So there's a lot of fanboying in that script. But you know what? As a fanboy, I can appreciate it. This movie gets a ton right that the previous sequels hadn't gotten right up to this point. First of all, the atmosphere, while not all the sequels were lacking in atmosphere, this one just nails it. It's better than the original's atmosphere. Love the atmosphere in this movie. Michael Myers is intimidating again. He's scary again. He's someone you do not want to come across. They have reinvigorated the boogeyman and made us afraid of him again. You get likable characters and good performances. I don't care what anybody says. I love Paul Rudd in this movie. He's supposed to be playing a super awkward, weird dude, and he nails it. He nails it. I really like Marianne Hagan as Kara Strode. And you know what? Seriously, Miramax, screw you for almost not giving her the role because she was too skinny. Get the hell out of here. I am so glad she got this role because I think she's great. Again, it's great to see Donald Pleasence as Dr. Loomis, especially because it was his last time. It's very bittersweet, but it's just great to see him in the role because he's a legend and he nails this role. This movie answered some of the things from Halloween 5 in a way that, whether you like it or not, it's not that much of a stretch. You find out the Man in Black is essentially the leader of this cult, and there is a curse put on Michael Myers and, his bloodline, basically. Anytime this constellation of stars appears on Halloween night in the sky, Michael kills. He's got to kill the last of his bloodline to end the curse, basically, and then it'll get passed to someone else. Is it weird? Oh, dude, super weird. But is it that much of a stretch? Can you connect the dots and say, I guess? Yeah, you can. So you take these plot holes and these hanging threads from Halloween 5 and you find a way to at least give them some answers that are kind of believable. And I respect it. I do respect it. Daniel Farrens had a really tough job, picking up from where those other movies ended off. And I think he does a really nice job here. I think that the music, although very 90s influenced, is really cool. I do like it. I think that the kills are great. There's some really suspenseful scenes. Joe Chappelle, although everybody complained about him while making this movie, I'll tell you what, he knows how to direct a film, especially a horror film, because the decision he made in the scene with Kim Darby where she's in the house and she sees Michael and she's running and he doesn't show us Michael till the very end before she dies is brilliant. It's brilliant. You know what she's seen, but you're like, show me, show me, show me. It's great. Suspense, yes. Give you a little bit of the tease. Just the tip, but we're not going all the way in. Great choice by Joe Chappelle there. I love the scenes of, the festival or whatever you want to call it. They get together at night. I think that is lit so well. It's so eerie that, Mommy, it's raining red. That's really dumb, but it's eerie. It is creepy. There's a lot about this movie that I just feel is great. The Myers house is fantastic. John Strode, one of the world's greatest assholes on film, gets his head exploded. It blows up. And it's fantastic. You are waiting for this. And that scene's awesome. And oh my God, the scene in the operating room with the strobe light. I'm telling you what. You watch that scene. I remember being a teenager and watching that scene in my bedroom. And I actually, to test it, played it like a minute before, went outside of my house, went around back and looked up at my window as it was playing and just watched it flashing like through the night. I mean, it's incredible. It is like, you are epileptic, don't watch that shit. But it is a gorgeously gruesome scene. No, he doesn't bleed green. She injected him with a bunch of weird shit. I don't know exactly what it is. That, he gets injected with it, and then Tommy beats the shit out of him with the pipe, and all that stuff's coming out. I'm sure there's blood in there too, but they don't show it because, ooh, look at the green stuff. Look, the movie just does so much right. It does so much right. It gets Michael right. It gets the atmosphere right. It gets the kills right. It gets Haddonfield right. It gets it right. We can nitpick plot points all day till we're blue in the face. And I'm a fanboy, so obviously I've done that at times in my life. But all things considered, this movie is brilliant in what it gets right. And I can't believe the first time I watched this movie, I didn't like it. And then the internet did not sway my opinion. It was only like a year later when I was like 13, I was like, this is pretty good actually. And then it's just really grown on me. And I'm glad to see that it has such a cult following now online, because this is just a great, great Halloween movie. Great horror movie, great slasher movie. Came out 1 year too early. If they would have waited a year, they could have capitalized off of Scream. It is what it is. Michael only stayed dormant for 3 years and we got H2O. We'll get to that. But honestly, revisiting this movie is a treat every time I watch it, because I think that this movie is a quintessential Halloween movie that nails everything that you would want a Halloween movie to nail. So I don't have much bad to say about this movie, if any bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and give Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers 4 out of 5 stars. That is right. This is a B. A very high B to me, but a B nonetheless. This is a very good Halloween movie in my opinion. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Do you love Halloween 6? Do you hate Halloween 6? Are you just meh on Halloween 6? Whatever your stance is, let me know down below what you think. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check me out on the Uneeda Horror Podcast every week over at Planet CHH. Follow me on Instagram at The Lost River Drive-In on Instagram, even though I just said that. And follow me on Twitter at The Lost River DR1. That's going to do it for me here at the Lost River Drive-In. Thank you guys so much, and this is Nick pulling out.